Hello everyone, welcome to X's and O's with LeRoy Butler, and we're going to get right at it because we got a lot. We got to make up for those two we didn't do X's and O's because of the holidays. And so we'll get started right away, and we're going to start with Edgerrin Cooper, who we've got marked right there. We also have the other 6 guys. So you got your 2 outside linebacker, defensive ends, Enigbari and Gary, and then you got your 2 defensive tackles, Wyatt and Kenny Clark, and then the 2 inside linebackers are mugging the A-gaps. So when you're Geno Smith, you're like, okay, are they coming? Or are they not coming?
They got to figure that out.
Right. Okay, so next play.
Now, go back 1 second.
Sure.
One second. Now, there is one thing, if you look at 25, because that could be a casino. You're bringing everybody. You got to figure that out too. And the back is on this side. So that would make this guy the hot guy. He would just come and stop right there. And just because your safety got to disguise here, then come down to get him. And then your man across the board. He has to figure that out too, because they've seen this before. But like as you said, they could drop out, and do something else. Go to the next one now. So now I'm not sure why the ball isn't gone, but here's where you have to be very unselfish, because when you run that pick play, Cooper has to come to the hip of the guard and stay there. And the reason you stay there because Kenny Clark is going to come around here and come up the middle, and this guy will try to get him, but he won't be able to.
Right, because Edgerrin Cooper is on his hip.
Exactly.
And 26 is trying to scoop Cooper right there, which he would if this worked out the right way.
Yes, but what you want is you throwing the pick to free up
Kenny
Clark. But what happens is when he throws that pick, and when Kenny Clark comes out the back and says, "Oh, I feel pressure up the middle," this guy, they have nobody, because these guys came out.
Right.
And 55 came out.
55 came out, and 25 did not come.
Yes, he did. He went to the flat.
Yeah.
So they only bringing 4, but it looked like they were bringing 7.
Right.
So they brought 4 to the quarterback. He's thinking, I got plenty of time. It's just a 4-man rush. But what happens is Kenny Clark comes around and pressures him up the middle. Now you can slip him. So, see how 56 slipped him right there.
Right. So Cooper came in and sat right on that guy's hip, like you said. There he is, right there. Now 26 was here, and he bounces off and comes to Kenny Clark, which is a good move. Maybe the center can get over and block Kenny Clark, and he should maybe stay on Cooper. But, I don't know. That would have been tough. He had to make a split-second decision, and he went after Clark, thinking the guard could pick up Edgerrin Cooper. Well, he was wrong. Now, Geno Smith is looking here, right?
Yes. Yeah, because he's saying, well, it's only a 4-man rush. Now, he knows that through experience only, because he see these guys dropping out.
Right.
They got 5 guys to pick up 4, but the pick is the issue, because you go in that little crack, and then as soon as the guy moves, you got a direct line to the quarterback.
Yeah.
So you also tell Cooper, don't rush it. Don't rush it. You got to let it develop. That's how you'll get your sack. And he did a wonderful job of being patient. But now, because you got to roll up to this side, it seems like you got like a 42, a 2 here, and cover 4 here. Now, you're thinking, okay, you're in a pickle here, because this guy can run a corner route, and this guy can run it out. And the ball should be coming here immediately.
Yeah.
But if he holds it, he's going to get sacked. And that's what happened.
And I don't know if this was a choice route. The tight end came here, and maybe he could have gone here, but he sees Quay Walker coming his way.
Yes.
And decides, okay, I'm allowed to go this way for Geno, because Geno is looking that way.
Yes.
But you got him sitting right there. The weak spot, as you said, is here, and we'll see them adjust to this later. and win that route. But
and the reason he held it, this 29 too.
Right.
So you can't just be throwing over there.
Yeah, you get to the line of scrimmage, you figure out where 29 is.
That's a fact.
But Cooper is so fast that here you see the back went with Kenny Clark right there.
Yep.
Okay. Right in there is Cooper. Gary's got this tackle. And so what you can't really see from this angle is Cooper's got a straight line to him. Bam.
Yep.
Down
there it
goes.
is. There it is.
And that's one of the great things about having a guy that fast is you have to it forces people to make split-second decisions.
Yes.
Because he's coming at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
That's a halfly defense. We may rush four, but you got to figure out which four it is when the guys are up. And sometimes they'll just go up there and just go and run casino and just get a free run to your quarterback. And you remember Nixon got a couple sacks just coming off the corner. And so they never figured out what was going on.
And the best thing about this is that Cooper went into that play sacrificing himself for Kenny Clark, and he wound up with the sack. So don't ever be afraid to sacrifice yourself because it might turn out your way.
That's true.
Okay, now we've talked a lot about people have talked a lot about how the middle of the Packers defense has been open quite a bit, and teams are getting a lot of plays there. One of the reasons being that they play a lot of zone, and teams know it. So they move this guy in motion. Nobody on the Packers defense moved. What does that tell the offense?
Well, it's a zone.
Right.
And it also, you look at DK's split. So it's a short split. And JS, he got a short split. So 16 comes over. The tight ends are off the ball for max protection. And mainly because at one point, Enigbari just took over our whole series. He had like 2 sacks and a pressure and forced him to punt. So they were probably thinking anywhere these wide nines be off the ball so we can get more protection. Because I think we can screen these guys or get it deep. Let's go back to in the middle. Remember up until, like you said, teams are like, let's attack the middle. So now they're trying to attack the middle and the outside deep thirds. So now they got good protection because you got a chip here, so you got plenty of time. So at this point, you got like a cover 2 here.
Good job of getting his hands on it.
Always stop. And whenever you can stop a receiver from running full speed, it's truly amazing. Now up here, you got to figure it out because at this point, you got, this is 25, right? Yep, that's 25. So you got just a zone, like a true cover 2 zone. The weakness of cover 2 is down the middle because this guy should be going straight through the middle as a vertical because it doesn't matter what route you have in the slot, Tom. If it's cover 2, you got to put pressure on that safety by running through the middle because the middle linebacker has to run with him.
Would you have tried to play him straight up and get your hands on him, or does that put you in a vulnerable position? He's flipped this way, leverage to the outside, pushing him inside where all his help is. Could he have played it a different way?
We do have a rule. If you have to move to stop a guy that avoid a zone, you can't do it. But if you could do it inside out and jam and slow him down.
Sort of like Stokes is doing?
Yes, because that's their best receiver, number 11. I mean, he's the guy. So if you could stop him, it takes pressure off the safety and the linebacker if you could do it. But if you got to come in here to do it, and that guy comes out, he goes, man, that guy's wide open there, then you can't do it.
Right.
So it's a judgment call on that one.
Okay.
And so now you're thinking, if anytime somebody's up here, somebody's coming behind you.
Right.
It's just the way it is in the world. And this guy, I love the depth of the safeties. I love the depth here.
Yeah.
And I like the way you can, because he has no work here. I've seen corners, Tom, just stop right here with no work, and this is just a voided zone. So this is pretty good depth.
Yeah, because this guy could come right here.
Yes.
And he's in a position where he could flip his hips and get over here if he has to. So good play by Stokes. You also have this line right here that he has to throw over.
Yes.
The area that he has free is right here, right?
Yes.
Now, you're going to point out that there's actually another area that he could have taken advantage of.
And you really want your 3 underneath guys. You want Quay Walker to be there, and 58 to be there, and 25 here.
Spread out a little more.
Yeah, because it seems like they're all on the hash because this area is kind of open. Now, you also got to say, hey, you got to beat that one-on-one because you got a one-on-one. You got a double here.
Yep.
And so you got that one-on-one. You got to get around him and beat him. And you got a one-on-one here. But again, these areas here are the weakness of the defense. So you got to figure out a way how you can survive the down. This play takes a long time.
Yeah. So really you're hoping you get some pressure there. But,
yes.
Okay, so you don't get any pressure. Now, what we're seeing is as JSN gets through here, Evan Williams, safety here, is going to take a play at him.
Yeah,
now,
and the thing about that is...
Let's go to the next one. You can show it better.
Yes.
Okay. Here he's falling down, but that's...
Yeah, because even if you... It's the same thing with these guys. If it's a guy here in front of you, it's a guy behind you. Same with the safety. If it's a guy driving here, that's coming next. If you're in cover 2 or cover 4. So you got to be careful. So you gotta stay square like this and get plenty of depth. But I know what he's thinking, man. The guy's wide open in this window. And sometimes they'll just run across like a decoy, and that 8 route is gonna be wide open.
And hitting this route is worse than hitting this route.
Yes, absolutely.
Because this is a touchdown and this is a 20-yard gain.
Yes. And then we used to call it like a Dino, like a double post. Like this, and this guy was like clearing out to throw it to this guy. And I had to learn that when I first moved to safety. I said, oh, because we used to call it Fox 2 XY hook. And the tight end will hook up and have an 8 behind it. And they used to get me a couple of times. Then I learned that I can always come up. It's hard to redirect because if the quarterback sees my name, it's a touchdown.
Next time, if I'm New Orleans coming up, the Packers' opponent on Monday, I'm running this again and telling my quarterback, if he bites on this, throw it out here.
Yep.
It's a touchdown.
Yep.
So Evan Williams has to think about that next time. I wonder what they'll tell him in meetings. Stay? Because there is no one covering him. You're giving this up pretty much, right?
And see, that's the thing about it is this, can you erase that for a minute? This is Sports Center. This is local static from you guys. Oh, they caught the ball, who cares? But we get a chance to line up again. This is a touchdown.
Right.
Especially if that's Chris Olave or somebody got some speed. One of those guys got speed out on the outside. So I used to always look at if the outside guy has the speed, that's the guy that wants to run that post route. So they'll just send somebody up to just the old banana in the tailpipe so I can jump up, and then they would hit that. But again, this play takes a long time, so I would go up to Reggie White and say, hey, why didn't you get there, man?
Yeah,
it takes 5 seconds.
If I know that Xavier McKinney is there, and I'm Stokes, as soon as I see him getting ready to throw that, why don't I break on there and try to
Jair's picked that off a couple
times.
Can
you make that play, or is that just unrealistic?
Oh, no, you can make that play because they don't want to go to check down unless they have to. So, but if you got good depth like this and you read the route, oh, yeah, you can throw it because he's not going to think that you're going there. Right. You just tell the linebacker, hey, you can go now.
Well, the problem with that, though, is if he hits him here, then he's going to have a long run, right?
Yeah, that's why
this guy's not going to catch him.
Well, you would let him know that if they got this one route that I'm going here, go ahead and drift with this guy a little bit. I'm going to go and see, can I take that?
Yeah, and that's where you were also saying if he's wider, if these 3 guys are a little bit wider,
yes, exactly.
then he can handle that route, and then you can go and try to pick that off. As we'll see here, here's Stokes, 21. Now the ball's there, so he would have had to make a hard break, and this is exactly what we're talking about. He hits that guy, and Stokes is gone. He might go a good distance. So it's a read.
And they got a good play, too, because, like I said, the other team gets paid, too.
Yeah.
You can't stop everything. But I'd rather give up this than give up this.
Than give up that, yeah. And I think it is possible that if this was Jair, he might have picked that off. But
oh, yeah, absolutely, yes.
But, yeah, you live to see another day here, you give up 7 points.
Exactly,
there. Okay. And there's the catch right there. Okay. Now, this is another instance where they're going to read how the Packers are going to cover this. And the Packers are not going to cover this very well. So here you have Keyshawn Nixon on the other side threatening to blitz.
Yes.
Right? So what's his hot read here?
Well,
he's got it back here.
If I'm Geno, he ain't coming because he's square.
Mm-hmm.
You know, before he had 1 foot leaning, so you got to make it all look the same. And you also got, 3 guys down, 1 guy standing. Oh, this is their nickel, okay. 7 and 58 are the 2 linebackers. And then you got 24, and you got 21, 33, and 29. So let's attack this guy. So look at the split. Okay, look at the split. So they're close splits. They got close splits here. So they're going to run a high-low Carrington Valentine with the back offset. So this will be the strength. That's why 25 is over here instead of over here, because this is the tight end, by the way.
Right.
So they're going to do a high-low on him. Now, it seems like to me they're playing like a deep thirds here. And then this guy, who's Evan, is amazing disguise, because if you're a quarterback.
It looks like cover 2.
It looks like cover 2 because he's like 13 yards off. But his disguise is amazing. But on camera, on TV, people thought it was Evan's fault, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
When
now,
it develops.
Here's why it developed. Keyshawn Nixon fooled you because he is coming.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's perfect. Isn't that perfect?
Yes.
That's
and
amazing.
So Mosby's going to drop here. Quay Walker's going to drop here. And then as a result of him blitzing, Evan Williams has to come down and cover someone here that Nixon might have been covering.
Right.
So, like, let's say if they weren't disguising a blitz, Evan Williams might have been lined up right there.
Yeah,
and I got the back.
Yes.
Okay.
And see, the thing about it, he got to think about all what we just said.
Yeah.
Who's coming? How's he standing? And if you're wrong, you can get hit. But when the play develops, okay, you still got a 4-man rush.
Yep.
Okay. So you want to be here.
You're good.
Here. Now you got a flooded zone right here. You got 3 guys in your third.
Right.
But you got to be here. You got to be here, and you got to be there.
Right.
And they even got the high-low right here, so you got to be here. They can have that because he can drive it. But here's the issue right here.
Yeah, so this is Evan Williams, and he's coming down, and his job is going to be to cover the back.
Yes.
Because that's what it would have been if he were right here. His job would have been to cover the back, but he's way back there. So he's got to get through the trash. And Quay Walker has dropped to cover anything in this area, right?
Yep.
So he's got DK Metcalf right there, who you got to keep an eye on. You figure Geno's looking for him.
I am really surprised that Geno just wouldn't just throw it here. But he said, nah, I think this will be open. He was end up being right. But that's an easy pitch and catch, and you can rally. The Packers are basically saying you can have these 2.
Yeah.
We don't want you to have this.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So now what we see is Carrington Valentine, who was supposed to be coming out here, came up here. And Evan Williams vacated because he's trying to come out here to cover the back.
Yes.
Quay Walker has Metcalf, So if Valentine doesn't come up to cover Metcalf, he's back here, just like Stokes was over here covering this guy.
Yep. And see, that's the thing. His disguise was so good that
fooled his own
guy. Which happens, though. It happens. But you got to flip-flop responsibilities. Okay, if that's the case, then I'll play the corner route, you just stay up there.
Yeah.
That happens sometimes. But the problem is you got 3 guys covering 1, and they pointed that out on the telecast. They were like, there's 3 guys covering 1, but on TV, it makes people yell at 33.
Right.
Why wasn't he back? But that's not his guy.
But they don't know that they didn't see Keyshawn Nixon blitzing and everything shifting, the coverage shifting as a result of that.
Yep.
And it put...
Teams are going to do a lot of that flooding the zone, like putting 3 guys in one zone. You got to make it. And they're going to do it on 24 until he can cover it. Because he did a great job in the end zone when he picked off. He was man-to-man and came off of it. So and sometimes you get fooled on that.
This happened to him against Detroit, too. He needed to cover a guy coming through. It was man coverage, and he played it as a zone, and they pulled him out of the game for a play or 2. But they have a lot of confidence in him. They like him and the play.
Well, he got good skills.
Yeah.
He just gotta. They just gotta communicate. If they communicate, they'll be good. And I think that's the biggest thing. Because had he been back here, I think not only would that have been a big play, but Geno probably would have still tried to force it, and 33 probably could have picked it off.
Possibly, yeah. And mentioned Stokes. Stokes played a good game. We ought to give a shout out to him.
I'm proud of Stokes the way he's coming along. It seems like he's getting healthy, and if that's the case, then they can still survive another game or 2 with Jair out.
Yeah.
Because 24 has the experience now, because he played a lot last year, he played a lot this year. 21 has the experience now. At this point, when they do get Jair back, this secondary is going to be amazing.
Yep. Okay, so that was the catch.
Yep.
Okay, we want to look at one. We're going to give you a bonus feature here
let's do that.
and break down the end of the first half with how Matt LaFleur handled the first half. Okay, so this is the end of the first half. There's 47 seconds left.
Yes.
Packers have 2 timeouts. Okay. So they complete a pass to Jaden Reed right here. Clock is running. All right? Now, Matt LaFleur has to make a decision. It's down to 37 seconds. He's given his call to Jordan Love. Now, according to LaFleur, he gave Jordan Love a play with an option. So he can either run one play or call an audible and run a different play.
Yes.
And the audible he gave him was, I think, run 4 verticals.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you watching if you are LaFleur at this point now?
In the future, years from now, I'm just going to, it's on Jordan, it's on you.
Run it like 2 minutes.
You run
where
2 minutes.
He calls the plays.
You go call the plays. Because I've understand and you understand what we want for the personnel that's out there. Because I don't have time to switch or just call a timeout. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
Hey, let's just use one of the timeouts, talk about it. We're already in field goal range, but we're trying to get it. But I know what's happening with the clock management. It's a lot going on in your head. There's a lot of plays in this sheet, by the way.
Right.
So you're thinking, for what the defense and the personnel I have, what's good now to get closer and get a big chunk. So I don't want people to think by any means this is easy.
Right.
Because you got to really communicate what you want, and then you want to also communicate what Jordan is comfortable with.
Right.
That's why most coaches, if you got to get in like a 7th, 8th, 9th year, it's on you.
Yeah.
You go call it.
And another option here is that, another factor I should say is there's 37 seconds left.
Mm-hmm.
If he calls a timeout, that stops the clock. If they don't get it on 3rd down, Seattle calls a timeout, and Seattle has 25 to 30 seconds left in the half to try to do something.
Yes.
Not a lot, but it's something to consider. I think, in addition to what you said, let Love call it. He could have called a play that had no
Yes.
can in it.
Right.
Where
Just
it's like
run this
play.
And I think he said something to that effect.
He did. Afterwards, he wished he hadn't given
That's why I
him.
think he's an amazing coach, man. You got to understand that every time you talk to the media, you're really talking to your players.
Yeah.
He said, I should have done something different. Just give him a play and keep it moving. I said, Jordan, it's on you.
Yeah.
Call what you like.
This is a similar mistake that Matt Eberflus made against the Lions.
Yes.
At the end of the game.
And it cost him.
But he never admitted that he made a mistake.
Exactly.
And I think LaFleur was smart to say, all right, I'll learn from this one. So it's 28 seconds. They're actually okay right here. But that's when Jordan goes up, walks up, and decides, okay, see all these guys looking at him? He's changing the play. And that's going to cost you 9-10 seconds, right?
Yeah, and then LaFleur should run down, tell the guy.
Right there.
Timeout.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
We've wasted enough time.
My bad. Let's save that time. We got one more timeout. So we're going to try to hit them deep in the middle somewhere and pick out a good play and then move forward. But Jordan also has to know that.
Yeah.
He can use a timeout as well.
He could.
To say, well, you know what? The clock is ready. That's why they put the clock so the quarterbacks can see him. We used to dispute that. But
right.
Okay, time, clock management for the head coach and the quarterback is off because you can see that all the guys looking. That's going to take a lot of time.
Yep.
And then you also know that Seattle gets the ball coming out, so we got to at least get a field goal.
Right.
So, and I think that's probably what George said. I can take my time.
Quite in field goal range.
Yeah, not yet.
I would say you got to get to the 35 to give him a chance.
Yeah.
So, okay, now they're down to 17. So now, if he calls a timeout, then you're definitely just going for a field goal. There's no touchdown, really. I mean, I guess you could throw one deep into the end zone, but I don't know if it's worth calling a timeout at this point.
Yeah, at this point, it's too late. You got to go through with it. And it actually almost worked out.
He hits, I can't remember who that is, right here to the 38, still a little bit short of a field goal. I mean, that is a 56-yarder. It's a 55-yarder. So now you got a 55-yard. Packers call timeouts with 10 seconds left.
Yes.
Now, so the next play, they decide, all right, 10 seconds left. We got one shot to the end zone.
Yes.
Let's see if we can do it. And they go deep to Dobbs.
I was shocked he was open.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, in 10 seconds,
how can that be?
How can you get behind a guy? I was just shocked it was. So with a longer throw, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, well, that was the throw we were talking about in Five Questions. If he had put it on a line, I think that would have been a touchdown. But he gets pass interference. Yes. All right, now, are you Dan Campbell or are you Matt LaFleur?
I'm going to be Matt LaFleur.
Okay.
Only because
4 seconds left.
This is what I would do.
One timeout.
If they jump off and we get half the distance, then I'm going for it.
Then you're going for it.
Yeah, but from here, no, I'm going to try to draw them off. They didn't drop. Then I'm going to just kick the field goal and go up 3 possessions because you go up 20-3 with them coming out the next half. So.
Yeah, if I get to the 2 because of a false start, then I'm taking Chris Brooks out and I'm putting Jacobs in.
Yes, and I'm going to just run it up the middle because no one has stopped them yet.
Right.
So, and that's the good thing about it. But, again, you got something out of it.
They did get the 3 points.
Yeah. Now, if you had got nothing out of it, the time had run out, then that would be something they would be thinking about.
Right. So, interesting, that a lot of stuff going on for a head coach, but that's what he gets paid the big money for.
Yeah, I think the more times you admit to yourself that you were wrong about something, I think it makes you a better coach. I think it also makes you a better player.
Right.
Because you're saying, basically, it's okay to be wrong sometimes.
Hey, we're wrong. Sometimes you're wrong. You point it out. And so
I was just wrong about Keon Nixon's feet.
Right.
And it's not the end of the world.
although I won't let you forget that.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Who do you want to thank? And then?
Yeah, MilwaukeeWindowGuys.com. And if you want to give somebody a great Christmas present, big Packer fan, go to LeRoy Butler, INC.com. And I have slots if you want me to call a friend, a kid, whoever who's a Packer fan. I'm doing it on Christmas Day. Actually, I'm doing it on the 24th and 25th. So just go to my website, LeRoyButlerInc.com.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks for joining us. And we will be back after the New Orleans game.
Saints game.
Take care, everyone.